David.
Chris, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. What was your name? Sorry.
Chris.
Chris, all right. How you doing? So I have two signs here. Which one are you talking
Guns.
about? Guns, all right. So what is your position on guns?
I assume you know what happened in Michigan with the Church of Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm a practicing Latter-day Saint, and I feel like I am a registered Republican. We have a lot of the same viewpoints, with abortion and immigrants, But I feel like, how do you feel about the guy who crashed his car into that building, shot 8 people, including children, and also burning the building down? How do you feel about him being a MAGA supporter, like a registered? He was like super into MAGA. He was a veteran. He had 2 American flags on his car when he crashed into the building. I just want to know your opinions on that.
The same way I feel about anybody on the opposing side that would have done something similar or the same thing or whatever the case is. We should not have to view each other based off our political affiliation when we condemn, obviously, what is violence, regardless if it's racially incentivized, whatever the case may be. We need to outright condemn it, regardless of the person that did that. So the reason I have that sign isn't necessarily to talk about things like that. It's more to talk about when things like that happen. A lot of everybody on college campuses, especially, right away talks about guns. Yeah. We need to restrict guns more, gun reform and stuff like that. I think we lose sight of what's the real problem, and that's the person, the individual behind the tool that makes it happen in the first place. So, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm a gun owner,
You're a law-abiding citizen?
A law-abiding citizen, yes, of course.
Great.
I did come here legally.
Great, me too. I came here legally.
Yeah, I am.
I own a gun and I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Exactly, and I feel like I do agree with gun laws. I do agree with how they are now, but I feel like there could be at least one law, in place where I feel like maybe there should be an evaluation before you get a gun, because I feel like putting these guns in the hands of the wrong people can really go wrong. I mean, if you look at the schools, not just with even Charlie Kirk. If you look at Charlie Kirk, that guy was mental. And him, the guy at the church. I was in church, actively acting in our sacrament while that was happening. And it's just that's a really scary thought.
Yeah.
So I feel what do you think about that?
So to be as transparent as possible with you, this is somewhere where I also have a problem, because I do think that we should do everything we can to make sure that mentally people who have been radicalized, maybe because of politics, should not be able to obtain a gun. But then I understand that the only solution for that is red flag laws, which is, Florida has that. Yeah. And that means that anybody can arbitrarily decide that this person is mentally ill. And then they can take your guns away from you for 6 months to a year. They can even force you to go to what I would call a re-education camp. And I don't doubt that that's been successful in preventing mentally ill people from actually obtaining a gun. But just based off universally, I think Democrats and Republicans agree on this. I'm worried that the government can arbitrarily decide that he's mentally ill or she's mentally ill because of the hat or because they said something, right, that isn't aligned with the current administration's politics. And that can lead to an individual being deprived of their Second Amendment. That's where there's I agree with you. We need to figure out how to make sure mentally people don't get a gun. But it just seems like everything that we've been proposed so far it can lead to abuse, essentially. What do you think?
I agree. I think sometimes, they'll mistakenly, they'll see, hey, you shouldn't have a gun, so I'm just going to say you're mentally ill and take it from you.
Exactly.
I can see
That's the problem. You have water. Sorry.
No, you're good. I can see how you feel about that. Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely. And that's, I think, that's I'll be honest with you, that's what I'm here to learn from you guys. Honestly, it's if we get to a point in our conversation where we both agree that it's not so much about the gun, it's about the person, then what is the policy solution for that? And just like I was very transparent with you that I see pros and cons on both sides, it obviously needs to be discussed, and maybe we'll see some kind of policy reform from it.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, brother. Yeah, you too. Thank you so much.
I just have one thing to say.
Sure. What is your name?
Vanessa.
Vanessa.
I don't really want to argue.
Davey.
But
I don't like arguing.
you said somebody should be killed for your opinion, but if you're talking about Charlie Clerk,
Can you get a little bit in front of that mic? Yeah.
if you're talking about Charlie Clerk, the person who killed him had the same political views as him. So I feel like he didn't really get killed for his opinion, because
We're talking about Tyler Robinson, the guy that killed Charlie Kirk, right?
yeah,
You think he was a right winger?
there was both. You know, there was both Republican Christian. They had the same political views.
Get a little bit more in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
they had
You
the-
can go a little bit. There you go.
Oh,
there.
they had the same political views. Like there was both Republicans, so it wasn't really difference of a
You
opinion.
think that the guy that murdered Charlie Kirk was a Republican?
Yeah, that's what the news said. They were both Republicans.
Who said that?
The news.
What news?
I don't know, but if you Google it,
Wait, if the news said it, shouldn't you know like where? Like what news station told you that?
I don't remember exactly. But if you Google it, they was both Republicans, so it wasn't really a difference of opinion.
Did you see his text message exchange with his transgender roommate? And by the way, do you know any Republican that has a transgender roommate that is his boyfriend?
I don't know, but
Okay, did you see the text message exchange between?
I know that they said that he hated him, but I'm just saying they was both conservative.
Okay. Do you know what was engraved on the bullets?
No, it's okay. Never mind.
My problem is, and Vanessa, just one thing. My problem is that there's a lot of propaganda out there, and when it's time to debunk it, why do we run away from it? What's going on, man?
Hey there, how you doing? What's your
David.
name?
David.
David, I'm Dylan.
Dylan, very nice to meet you. I like the show,
Nice
brother.
to meet you. Thank you.
Yeah, what's
First
going on?
off, I just want to say that I appreciate you.
Can we fix that sign? I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. I just want to say I appreciate you coming to a place where you know most people are going to disagree with you.
Well, it's not fun going where they always disagree, right?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's,
Or sorry, agreed. That's what I meant to say.
I know. I think it's necessary, even though I don't really. I'm pretty liberal, I'd say.
Great.
I can appreciate you coming here to express your views.
And I appreciate you coming up because it takes a lot of courage to actually come up here. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
What can we disagree on?
Yeah, I was just wondering what your stance is on immigration and the way that it's currently being handled with ICE and how they're doing it.
I'm a legal migrant to this country. My folks migrated to the country legally when I was 8 years old.
Did you say they migrated illegally?
Legally.
Okay.
All my friends who actually followed the law and came to the country legally can't stand illegal immigrants. For the simple fact that if it's a true asylum-seeking individual, they have every opportunity to seek asylum the legal way. But unfortunately, too many people see asylum in the United States as a legal loophole to why to enter the country illegally. So realistically, the biggest argument for illegal immigration always is that they're seeking asylum, they want a better life in America. I understand that, but that doesn't mean that they should violate our law. They shouldn't abuse our law. They shouldn't take advantage of a loophole that we have in the law. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, my personal stance, I think that immigration and the process should be quicker than it currently is. There's a lot of people that are on wait lists that it takes 20 years plus to legally immigrate.
That's not true. Just to stop that real quickly. The average wait time is 2.5 years. In the most extreme cases, people have seen a 5-year time to come to the United States legally, and that is mainly because of paperwork issues. So they're not able to verify a certain claim that the individual is making in a country like India regarding employment or whatever it is. All I want to say is that realistically, I do feel bad for people that are being politically hunted in their country, people that have gangs coming after them. That all is asylum. And if you truly have an asylum, I want you to think about this. If you truly have a legit asylum case, and you can just go through the port of entry, say I'm seeking asylum, and provide the evidence to do so, why break the law? Why make it harder for yourself by entering illegally, right?
To that point, I think there's a lot of people who can't wait 2.5 years, if that is the average.
But if they have asylum issue, which is I have to get into this country immediately, they can still do that legally through the port of entry, not wait at any time. They literally just show up to the port of entry. I'm seeking asylum, and that's it. They're led into the country, and they're protected now by the United States. And eventually they come and adjudicate their asylum case in front of the judge.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Is there, can I ask a few more things? Okay. So, to my next point, what are your thoughts on how ICE is currently handling people who are illegal immigrants?
Sure, I know she's happy. She wanted to ask you about ICE.
You've been engaging with me.
Well, that's because you came up. You were the first one, right? We kind of went back and forth, but let's talk about it. We can all talk about ICE like that. Actually, just got back from Chicago. I was there for 4 days outside the ICE facility. I saw protesters beat up cops, try to go into the ICE facility, and I was undercover there, so I was asking them, why are you guys out here? What are you guys are truly protesting? And they're telling me that this agency, ICE, that just sees somebody that is brown and immediately arrests them, right? They're trying to act as if it's the Gestapo going after Jews, non-whites during the Nazi Germany. In reality, let me tell you guys what I saw. They have a warrant for an individual that was 3 years ago, a judge said needs to be kicked out of our country because of assault, homicide even. They don't know where this person is. They were able to obtain a warrant and identify maybe some surrounding areas where he's at. ICE goes and patrols the areas. They locate him, they detain him, and bring him back to the ICE facility. It is illegal. It's in the ICE website even. No, don't call us. Hey, what's up? Don't call us just because you see a group of people of a certain color hanging at the Home Depot, for example.
People have been doing that.
People can call in, sure, but it doesn't mean ICE acts on it.
Sometimes they do.
Do you have evidence of that?
Yes.
Okay. California. What is the evidence for California?
Okay, hold on, I'm pulling it up.
Okay. Right.
I do know that 70% of people who are detained by ICE, the way that they're found is when they're going in to renew their I can't think of the word out there.
They go to a federal court in order to adjudicate their asylum case, but in the process, right, what you see is what happens after the person leaves the courtroom. They get detained by ICE agents in New York City in the federal court. I was actually there. After the judge determines the individual's asylum case is not legitimate. So the only reason, right, because ICE, I'll tell you guys, ICE can't today, they have to do due process. The Supreme Court ruled that. They can't just, he's brown, in our facility, on a plane deported. There's an actual process by which they go through. And ICE doesn't respond to tips of hey, there's brown people hanging out at the Home Depot. It's on their website. It says, do not call us just because you saw a brown person.
I've seen that.
Okay.
But do you think that doesn't happen at all?
We both saw it. That's good. There we go.
You think that doesn't happen at all?
It's illegal. Yeah.
Does it happen though?
It doesn't happen now, unless maybe you can change my mind, and I'm very open to it, of a case of where that's happening, because she's about to show me a video in Home Depot, but the reality of it is that, again, they didn't just show up and they were like, oh, it's brown people, it's Home Depot, it's perfect for us. They were there because of a warrant. They were there because they knew a person that was at the Home Depot waiting to get picked up for work had a warrant for his arrest because he was a criminal. And maybe in the process of it, they obtained a couple other people, and they did.
So they didn't have a warrant for those other people.
Well, maybe those people are witnesses, and in the process, when they ask, one second.
Yes or no?
1 second. When they conduct a sting, right, and they say, we're going to this place in order to find these 10 people who have warrants to, in the process, right, they collect eyewitness. 1 second. In the process, they collect eyewitness accounts. They have to give an ID, and they realize that the person's illegal, so of course they're going to detain them as well. They're going to, 1 second. It doesn't matter. You can detain a person, and once they find that they're illegal, it's fine. You bring them in front of a judge, and if they truly are legal, if they have status here, whatever the case is, guess what the judge does? What does the judge do? Can you tell us?
She's going to do her little
Okay, what's up? 1 second.
I've got to head out, but I appreciate you coming out here.
Thank you so much, brother.